And now it's a great honor and a real privilege to bring to the program one of country music's greatest stylists, a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Mr. Charley Pride. Charley, can you hear me all right?
I hear you fine, Paul. Go ahead.
Oh, it's such a great honor to have you here on the program. I really appreciate you coming on my radio show.
Well, thank you.
And, well, I guess maybe if we start back at the beginning, if that's all right.
Okay.
You were born in Mississippi, correct?
Right. A little town called Sledge, like Sledgehammer.
And isn't it also true that you grew up listening to the Grand Ole Opry with your family?
Yeah, my dad, we had an old Philco radio, and he controlled the dials on there, so that's what, I listened to other music, but that was the most music we listened to, especially on Saturday nights, and we work in the fields all week, and that was what we listened to.
So I guess how old were you when you first learned how to play the guitar?
About 14 years old. I didn't really learn how to play it because when I bought it, I lived out in the country and I just didn't know how to tune it. So I listened to at the end of another song, and I just listened to I don't know whether it was Cerny's Tub or who it was, but at the end of the song, it dong 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 ding. So I just tuned it that way, and that's what it was called. I didn't realize that's what it was called. It's called bar chords. And I just barred everything. You might have remembered Jimmy Rogers that had the Honeycomb.
Oh, sure.
The song Honeycomb, and of course he used his thumb to bar play his. I used my two inside fingers on my left hand to change the chords, and I played it that way until I started recording back in 1966.
And so, who were some of your early musical influences?
Well, a lot of people, because I did an album sometime back. I did a tribute to Hank Williams, and of course, I recorded and sang his songs like all the rest too. But a lot of people think he was probably one of the most influence on me, but he wasn't. I mean, he was a part of, but I was influenced by, I guess, the whole spectrum of it,
Yeah.
Different guys, people like Lonnie Glosson. You probably never heard of him. Lonnie Glosson, Wayne Rainey, T. Texas Tyler. And
oh, sure.
There's a guy, we didn't live about 55 miles from Memphis, and there was a guy that came on in the mornings before we went out in the fields to work. His name was Buck Stuffy, turning his buckaroos. And then at noon there was another group came on called the Garrett Snuff Variety Gang. So, but I listened to all the ones that had the big hits. So every one that had big hits was an influence on me. That saying. I mean, Eddie Arnold. You just go down the line, And of course, like I say, Hank Williams too, but he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, and so I guess how old were you when you gave your first public performance?
Well, see, that's again. I'm gonna tell it to you like this. When I bought my guitar from Sears Roebuck when I was 14, it's a fella up the road. We up the street because we lived out in the country. He asked my dad would he mind me come playing for his party, and paid me $3 to play for his party. and if you want to count that, but I don't think that was professional or nothing. But that's the first time I got paid. If you want to count it that way, but I really started singing in 1960 up in Montana. I went up there to play baseball. See, baseball has quite an influence in my life. I segue out of baseball into music. I played baseball. That's where I was going to really make my mark, was in baseball. I think every kid has a dream, and that was my dream. When they said who hit the most home run, not Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, Charley Pride. Who hit the last 400 hitter, not Ted Williams, Charley Pride. That was going to be that was my dream to do that.
And so that really was your first career choice, wasn't it? Not music.
Yeah. No, it was baseball. But I just sang. I never dreamed I'd be something like this would happen. There's a fellow where my dad used to rent 40 acres from, and of course we ended up buying the 119 acres that he had. It was 120. He left 1 acre for his son, but he's just like another daddy to us, and it was all mortgaged up to the hill. So when I started singing, I bought the farm from him, and And he used to say to me, he said, "Have you ever thought?" I kept going up and down, up in baseball. And he said, "Have you ever thought that you're not on this planet to do no baseball? You're on this planet to sing?" So I finally, before he passed away, I finally got a chance to ask him, why did he say that? I could run the 111 something. I could check bases in about 14 or 15 seconds. I hit over 300 everywhere I played. And he said, it was 8 boys and 3 girls. During, in the mornings when the dew was on the ground, we lived about maybe less than a mile apart from his house, the fellow I'm talking about, the farm.
Yeah.
And he, his 8 boys and 3 girls, he said, "I could pick you out from all the rest." He said, "I called you a mockingbird." But I think the reason he used that on me, though, because I used to imitate different animals and things like that. I won Poise Club contests like that. I remember, let's see if you can you recognize this.
I'm not.
Yeah, maybe on the phone. That's a turkey gobbler.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe you're not a country boy, so you probably wouldn't know that gobble.
No, now that you said it, sounds like it.
I think that that's why he said I was old mockingbird, because east and south, you talk them, and all that stuff, and cows, and if anything of sound about it, I could emulate, and so I think that's why he called me old mockingbird. He said, but he still could pick me out from all the rest of my brothers and sisters if he's listening to her singing or doing something back, that distance from one another.
So what made you decide to pursue a career in music?
When I was playing, they didn't have but 16 clubs in the major league, so you had to hit at least 260 or 270 to make it and stay there. I'll give you an example. Roberto Clemente was in a Dodgers organization, and Pee Wee Reese, he was a shortstop when the Dodgers signed him, and Pee Wee Reese kept him in the majors, kept him in the minors for like 3, 4, 5 years. He's ready to come up. But if you remember, he went to the Pittsburgh Pirates and was a standout there.
Yeah.
So now it's 28, 30 clubs, and it has to be. You have to admit that it's diluted, but it got a lot of great players. But that's when I say, at 25 years old, if you wasn't in the majors, especially by then, if you lost anything of any worth, you were out of it. I mean, they just marked you off. I'm just glad I could sing. So,